My 6-year-old Josh lost his first tooth on the day my husband walked out on us. Josh came over while I was crying at the kitchen table, holding the tooth wrapped in tissue, and asked, "Is the tooth fairy coming tonight?" I nodded, and he ran to bed excited, but I felt terrible because my husband had cleaned out the joint account, so I had no money for Josh. When he fell asleep, I searched all my coat pockets and drawers, but didn't find a single bill. I sat at the table crying, feeling like I'd failed as an adult, and that's when at midnight, Josh came downstairs. His eyes were welling up and his voice shook through tears. "Mommy, is the tooth fairy mad at me? There's nothing under my pillow." My heart broke, but I cleared my throat so he couldn't tell I was crying too. "The tooth fairy is just running late tonight. She'll be there, I promise." I took his hands, and Josh nodded and went back to bed. I immediately got in my car and started driving to the house of everyone I knew. I knocked on their doors at 1 a.m. and asked them to please lend me $5 so my son could experience the magic of the tooth fairy. It was humiliating, but for Josh, I had to do it. My sister eventually gave me $5, and back at home, I crept to Josh's bedroom. I slid the $5 under his pillow and went back to crying at the kitchen table. I was still awake in the morning, stressing about how I'll pay rent when Josh came down smiling, holding his $5. The tooth fairy came. I barely even paid attention to him, but then he climbed into my lap and pressed the $5 into my hand with a huge smile on his face. "I want you to have it, Mommy. You need it more than me," after Daddy left. I looked at Josh's smile, and even though it was only $5, my heart felt warm because I realized no matter how hard the world got, I'd always have Josh.